Christian McCaffrey is set up for life, and he got probably a nice bonus this upcoming week. I'm sure it's in his contract whenever you're the player of the week. And once again, another player does celebrate at the Falcons' expense. Christian McCaffrey, based on his performance on Sunday night, is the NFC's offensive player of the week. And so here we go again. And listen, we'll hear from the defensive coordinator, and we're going to talk about what the offensive coordinator had to say.
If anybody associated with the Miami Dolphins gets an accolade or a prize or a certificate, I'll say it again, win or lose, you're not doing your job. You should thumb this team into submission. I'm not saying you will, but you have a chance to, so go do it.
One of the coordinators sounds better than the other one. You be the judge in just a couple of minutes, but we also know that Michael Penix, we heard initially it was a bruised foot. Now we're finding out it was a bruised knee. That didn't make any sense to me because it looked like he was grabbing at the knee when he went down and started limping.
But it doesn't mean he wasn't stepped on at the bottom of a pile. I mean, I don't know what the report is. I do know that we throw things out there. Lower leg injury. I mean, that's all. All I care about is if he's dragging his leg around, and it's evident that he's dragging his leg around, you have to do something about it. Protect him better. Give him a set of plays where that's not going to cost us. But if it starts costing you, you'd have to make a change in game. You cannot be afraid to go. If this guy's not working, beat up, not healthy, you've got to figure out a way to make sure you win this football game.
And we'll see what changes. What has to change is their performance on the road. They've been outscored for the first 3 road games on average of 26-10. And Michael Penix talked about that.
No, I don't know where that comes from as far as, why it is less or not. But we got to find ways to make it better, obviously, and get those road wins. So that's something that we definitely will continue to stress is just winning in general, on the road, at home. But like you said, the numbers have been down, but we'll fix that.
And be better against man coverage as well. Dan Orlovsky brought up a point. More bunch or stack will probably help as opposed to lining up across the board, especially now that you're down. Your best receiver is still there. Your second best receiver is still here. He's a little bit banged up, Darnell Mooney, trying to get healthy again. But your third best receiver last year is now in the New York Giants practice squad in Ray McCloud. So those are one of the things that you have to do to maybe solve some of these problems when it comes to being inconsistent. And that's something else Michael Penix talked about.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but it's football, and you can't sit there and soak into that frustration. You gotta figure it out, and figure it out, and that's what we're doing. We're doing that each and every day. We're gonna get it right, and when we do, it's gonna be great to see.
I hope he's right, because at times there is no place to go but up, and you're talking about now copy and paste. That's how Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, described what the Dolphins are going to do. They're going to copy and paste exactly what the 49ers did.
Yeah, we said it. If it's a muddy pocket, that makes him less of a quarterback, muddy it. If he's got a bad leg on top of that, muddy it.
And on the other side, they're going to run the ball. Davon Achane is averaging 92.4 yards, but he is a guy that can break it each and every time he touches the ball. So they're going to focus, I would believe, especially now with Tua and the bad thumb. He's practicing, but he's got a bad throwing thumb.
Like keep away.
Yeah, you're going to run the football against a team that couldn't stop the run last week.
The other part is you're not in a position. If you're down 11 points, let's just say in the fourth quarter, and they know you have to pass. Now, you shouldn't have to pass because they got a running back who can break one like he was, catching a ball 20 yards downfield. But if you set it up where down and distance means go get the quarterback, and the quarterback's got a bad leg, and the quarterback really doesn't get out of harm's way very easily, you just made the game easier for Miami's defense. Let's not make the game easier. You know what I would love? Get up 14 points. Hell, I'll take 12 points. Anything that's a score and a half plus where I can hand the ball off to 2 guys and let's run out the clock.
Well, I mean, that's been since Penix took over the history, limited sample size, of course, but the history of this team. If they fall behind early, there's not going to be a comeback. They're not very good at rallying the troops.
Well, he's done it a little bit better in a handful of games. He had a couple of kickers screw that up. I just don't want to be down where I go, now we're going to send the house. And the running backs who you didn't use enough when you could have, now in an environment or a score, time and score, where you put the ball in Michael Penix's hands more often. Drake London is going to be double-teamed all game, folks. Get used to it. Drake London is going to have to be, whatever he is, he's going to have to be greater than that because nobody is stupid enough. I don't care if you're the piss-poor Jets, you're the piss-poor Saints, you're the piss-poor Dolphins. Nobody is going to make Drake London's life easy. What you're going to do is make sure that he doesn't beat you. That's what you do when a quarterback 60+% of the time wants to throw to one guy.
So that made sense what Jeff Ulbrich said. He expects the Dolphins to cut and paste. Now, Zach Robinson, we go back to that 4th and 1. Bijan not on the field. Chase Lucas, the 49er defensive back, broke up the pass to Drake London, said, we knew what was coming. We saw the play. Zach Robinson said they haven't run that play and didn't before that game on Sunday. So there's a disconnect here, as always, it seems, with this Falcon coaching staff and what reality seems to be.
Well, I don't know. I heard Chase Lucas say, I knew what was coming, and by the looks of it, it certainly looked like he knew the spot the football was going to be thrown to. He said, the only thing I'm pissed off about is I didn't intercept it. Now, he made the play he had to play. It's fourth down. You just got to make sure that it's not a completed pass for more than a yard. I don't know if Zach Robinson's right or not. Raheem Morris more than hinted at and indicated that, we've had success with that type of play. We thought it would be successful at that moment. It wasn't. When a DB tells me at the end of a game, right at the end of a game, not looking at the film, not doing anything, just coming off the field, yeah, you want to know why I made that play? Because my defensive coordinator gave me a cut sheet. I looked at film and said, it doesn't mean 100% of the time, but it means they're going to want to do this. He knew what was coming.
Obviously, they ran something that was very, very predictable. And Mike McDaniel's been very, very predictable for the wrong reasons as well. This is Teddy Bruschi, multiple championship winner on ESPN, talking about the Dolphins head coach.
I'll just be honest with you. I don't see it with Mike McDaniel, okay? Yeah. If I had to see that man in front of me with some of the things that I've seen him say, and I've watched a lot of his press conferences, and I've watched a lot of him from the Hard Knocks a few years ago, I don't know how I'd be able to play in that locker room, to be honest with you. The man that I want leading me that's going to take you to championships is someone that's the exact opposite of that man in Miami.
It's what I said when certain guys stand in front of the room. What do I feel collectively? What do I feel individually? Teddy Bruschi, I'm a Super Bowl champion, and I want to win more Super Bowls. I don't think I can do it with him. You think Teddy Bruschi would be the only guy? There are guys in Miami who've never sniffed the Super Bowl, and you know what they know? I don't think he's the one.
This team,
and once you have a group of, especially football players, who don't believe you're the one, everything you want to do and everything you say is looked at side-eyed.
This team is circling the drain, and that's why you need to get them down early. You need to crush any hope they have of winning this game. And then the attitude that was clear on the field last week against Cleveland on the road will be clear again on Sunday. You got to win this game. You can't lose to the Dolphins. You just can't.
I know. Can I tell you what I don't believe in for the most part? I don't believe most guys don't have pride. I believe whether it's on film and it's for the next guy, whether it's your family's watching, whether it's the way you were raised or the way you played football your whole life, this idea that you're going to roll over and die, I don't think
they did last week.
I know, but
now does pride come into play this week because a guy like Bill Cowher, a Hall of Famer, called out the Dolphins on CBS, and I watched a lot of that game, and there was no argument. They quit.
Yeah. Well, then if you do it again, you're a quitter. Like, you can quit, and that's not good, but are you a quitter? Because there is a little bit of a difference. My point is, I don't believe that players collectively or individually want to be known as bums.